What's up, everybody? I'm Sick, and it's time for an early access look at the new Feeder 2 DLC. Thank you to the developers for giving us a chance to take a look at this early. Also, I just learned recently that YouTube classifies getting a free DLC for early access as paid promo. So that is why you see the pop-up when you started the video. It's because I was given the DLC for this early access look. Figured I would mention that as YouTube doesn't make it very clear to the viewers why they see that pop up, and I didn't want you guys to be confused and think that it was actually paid for. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Feeder 2 DLC like I mentioned. The DLC is going to be $6.99 USD or equivalent in your local currency and will be released on February 24th. If you want to check out the DLC for yourself, be sure to click the link in the description as it will take you directly to the website where you can get more info as well as purchase it if you would like to. Now without further ado, let's dive into our very first hunt with Feeder 2 DLC. Okay, so the first one we're going to take a look at is, of course, the Salt Licks, because this is the one I am most excited about. I have been wanting Salt Licks ever since we got the very first feeder pack, and the reason is it's going to make the tar grind so much easier. As you can see, we've got a group of tar right there, and I've also got a group of tar literally right over here. So typically I'll shoot a tar here, and then I can't go down and claim them immediately because if I fast travel here, it's going to spook off these ones. So normally I would have to fast travel down here, then shoot these guys from this spot right here. And it's just a whole thing. It takes a little bit more time than I wish it did. But the Salt Licks, they're going to make it so I can essentially get this zone and this zone combined into one, making it so that I can remove one or maybe even two of the tents that I've got here. And then I can dedicate those tents to different areas of the map. So we're going to try and find a spot for the Salt Licks that's going to move both of these zones into a convenient area. I'm kind of thinking probably somewhere over in that range. I guess we'll see. So as you can see, that is the other group right there. I think we want to put our Salt Lick like right here probably. And maybe a little bit further back. About 200, 210 away. That way we can attract the group over here as well as that group. Also, I just realized I left a feeder from the last DLC here when I was testing out if tar were attracted to them, so I gotta pick that up before I can even place down the Salt Lick. Also, I suppose to avoid confusion, the Salt Lick that I'm talking about is actually called a Mineral Lick, but it's the same thing. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be awesome right here. I'm really excited for this. Let's go ahead and refill. You can only do the mineral block, and it actually tells you what is attracted to it on this reserve. That is a huge update that they did with this update right here. That is going to be incredibly helpful, man. Like, that is going to be so helpful. And I love how water buffalo are attracted to it. That's actually amazing. Oh, looks like it's working. We do have a tar going over to the Salt Lick. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. He's right on top of it. We're going to reset the time one more time, though. Try to get some of these other ones to go there. Okay, these guys didn't get attracted to it. That is interesting. Only one is attracted, and it appears to be a solo. Wait, actually, we got these guys going there. I think they're going here. It might be. I guess we'll see. So I think because there's a solo here, we might have to kill this solo if we want to get the other ones to attach to this feeder over here. Because, yeah, they don't seem to care at all, which is unfortunate. Oh, wait a minute. These guys are running over. Are they attracted to it? They are. Okay, so maybe I just need to give them some time. This is the zone that I believe was over here. And yeah, they're moving over. To be honest, I thought I spooked them, but I guess they're just attracted to it. That's cool. That's really good. Yeah, there they go. Okay. I like that. However, like I said, because this solo attached to it as well, we need to kill this solo. And now that's hopefully going to open up an area for these guys to go to. Oh my gosh, they've been going to town on it. I should probably refill that. So I guess because I reset the time 3 times, they used up almost all of that Mineral Lick. So they do appear to go through it pretty quickly if you're resetting the time, so keep that in mind. You know, I got a feeling that these Mineral Licks are going to be used by you guys quite a lot, because one of the toughest things about tar hunting on, to be honest, either of the maps, but primarily Sunder Patent, is the fact that they are in some of the roughest parts of the map and they only have feed zones. Being able to move them out into the open with these Mineral Licks is going to be really huge for tar grinding. Let's claim that guy right there. Beautiful shot. Okay, yes, so far these are working absolutely amazingly. Again, though, I did have a solo come to this feeder. which means the other herd in the area does not want to go here. So what we're going to do is shoot that solo, and hopefully that'll open up a slot for one of the actual groups. Because if there's one thing I've noticed since the feeders were released for Feeder Pack 1, it seems that only 2 groups of animals can get attached to a feeder, at least from my experience. And because of that, you definitely don't want to solo just hanging on to one of the feeders, because that's going to block a potential group that could be there. Keep in mind, this is all just like from my experience. This isn't like, keep in mind though, that might not actually be how it works. That's just my observations from playing with the feeders since the first release of them. So far, one thing I'm definitely not a fan of is it seems in the update, they might have changed the way refilling a feeder works, because when I click refill remotely, it's no longer automatically highlighting what I have in there. So I can just click buy. I have to re-click the item that I want in there and then click refill. It's a minor thing, but it's just a little like almost like reversion of such a nice quality of life feature. So hopefully that's just for the salt licks, because you technically have to pull the whole block out and put a new block in. I'm hoping that's all it is. There we go. We got 2 different groups attached to it this time. Let's go. That's awesome. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like the 2 most annoying ones. I think I got both of these groups to go here. So I still have this group here, which that definitely means that I can start here, shoot these, fast travel, claim them, then shoot these. I can take both of these tents. Oh, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. That is definitely a massive positive for tar grinding. Like, this is going to be so cool, man. Tar grinding is forever changed. So we have now moved over to New England Mountains to use the scent tube feeder. This one right here, as you can see, is going to attract like your small scavengers, your predators, stuff like that. Obviously, it's not going to attract stuff like the big cats like tigers and lions and stuff, but it's going to get all the stuff on here, plus, you know, anything that is similar to these on other maps. In fact, if we go to the codex, we can go to Game Feeder Pack 2, click on Scent Tube Feeder, and it'll tell you exactly what is attracted to it. One of the most interesting ones being the snow leopard. You can actually get snow leopards with your scent tube feeder, so that's pretty huge. Now, I tried to do that, but unfortunately, I just couldn't get one to go for it. I was having some unfortunate luck with the snow leopards, which is to be expected since there's so few of them on the map. You got to get those feeders placed in the perfect spots. So yeah, I think even with snow leopard being attracted to these, it's still not going to make them easy. They're still going to be quite difficult. One thing I really do love, though, is Eurasian pine marten, American mink, European badger. All those are attracted to this. That's pretty huge because they would not go to any of the previous feeders. Overall, like the roster of animals that go to the scent tube feeder is pretty extensive. I like that. And then while we're here, let's look at this. It says the mineral lick feeder will literally attract like all of this. Holy crap, that's a lot of species. I mean, this is probably the most versatile feeder in this pack. The mineral lick feeder has so many species that are attracted to it. And then the carcass feeder has the lowest amount of species. However, that's to be expected because it's kind of more of a like specialty feeder for only the biggest of the cats, as well as lynx for some reason. That's interesting. Lynx are basically the same size as the bobcats in game. Obviously, I'm not talking about real life. In real life, a lynx is bigger. However, in Call of the Wild, lynx are pretty tiny. Kind of surprised they are attracted to this, but hey, I guess that's going to be fun to test out. There we go. We've got ourselves some gray fox attracted to the scent tube feeder. That's quite cool. I don't have the proper rifle on me. I didn't have enough weight to carry all the different feeders and stuff, plus all the weapons, so I don't have the proper caliber for them, but wait, what? How did I miss that? That's kind of crazy. I don't know how I managed to miss that shot. I don't know, maybe there was a slight hill there that I just couldn't see. I thought it was clear behind that grass, though, but I guess not. Well, there it is. It was not a pretty shot, but we did get one of them down. Not too bad. Well, there's that level 6. Let's go ahead and take that guy down. Once again, don't have the right gun with me, but who cares? Let's just pop that poor little guy. Let's see. Let's grab this little guy right there. That is a level 6. Not too bad. Not the greatest shot, but doesn't really matter when you're using a gun that large. Another thing that I forgot to mention earlier that is quite helpful when using feeders is if you see nothing at your feeder after you've placed it, it doesn't necessarily mean that you won't get anything there. Sometimes you just need to change the time. For example, I'm trying to get wolves to go to this feeder right here. So what we're going to do is change it to wolf drink time, which is 0 to 3. That's going to get them within the 500 meters required of that feeder. And then they should eventually attach to it. And then we can change it back into their feed time. And if everything works out as we want it to, they should be over there. So let's make sure they actually pop up in their drink zone. There we go. We got them to actually go into their zone. So now what we're going to do, since we have had them into the drink zone, which is very close to our feeder over here, we will now switch it to the feed time, and hopefully they'll be attracted to that instead of their like original feeding zone. And there we go. They're attracted to it. So we now have all of these wolves right here feeding at that feeder. In fact, actually, this is a different group, I think. Yeah, because all of these are level 5, so this is a different group of wolves. This is one of the groups I already managed down fully, but you get the idea. Sometimes you just need to change it into their drink time and then go into the feed time, and boom, you might get them at the feeder. And finally, last but not least, it's time to use the hanging carcass feeder. And because I feel like literally everybody is probably going to try and go for tigers with it, I'm going to try and go for lions instead. So we're going to put this up right here. That looks really cool. And as always, as you can see, when you click refill and you highlight the type of bait, it'll tell you what's attracted to it on that specific reserve. So for Honga Savannah, it's only lion. However, that's really all we need it for. There we go. We've got a lion at the carcass feeder. That is super cool, man. Let's go ahead and take this thing down. It is a level 5, which is quite small. If I was still herd managing lions, I'd probably leave this. But we're going to shoot it. We can always get more 5s in the future if we come back to lions. There we go. Going down. And, sorry, buddy, you're going to be collateral. Whoa, wait a second. So there was another one feeding here, too? Oh, yeah, there's a female that was feeding here as well. So I guess you can get up to 2 lions at here at once. That's kind of cool. We got another one that's attracted to it after we killed this one. Oh, these feeders might be crazy for lion hunting. I could totally see myself building like a lion feeder gauntlet along this lake right here, and then like at some of the other really good spots for lions, and just going to town. That could be a lot of fun. Okay, let's see what we got here. That is a level 5, quite a small lion. Got a solid shot. Our first lion at a feeder. Love to see it. Well, there we go. We got another one at the feeder. This is the other level 5 that I had in the area. Go ahead and take this guy down too. I'm really curious to see like how many of these lions are going to show up at this feeder right here. Let's just smoke him though. There is something that I really want to try, and I think it's going to be absolutely freaking awesome. I want to try and attract some crocodiles and get them away from the water. Like get them up into these fields that are near the water for a bit of a more open shot. I think this could be really, really cool. Let's hope it works the way that I think it will. Put a tent here, and then we'll go back over to here and try to figure out what their feed time is. Not gonna lie, don't think I've ever even picked up a feed zone track from a crocodile, so... Ooh, there we go! Okay, we got one there. We've got one there. Now, the unfortunate thing is the fact that they feed at night. They feed at nighttime, so that's not ideal. I probably won't do this too often because of that, but it is cool to get a crocodile completely away from the water. You just don't see that very often. Okay, let's go ahead and take a shot on this one right here. Smoked him. Holy crap, look at all these tracks, dude. The Banteng decided to go through here while I was hunting for some crocs. That's interesting. Let's see, we got vital organ hit. Let's go find this thing. And there it is. There is our saltwater crocodile. Our dog is warning us that there's another. Holy crap, thank you, Hunter. You did something useful for once, buddy. However, everybody, that is going to be the end of this video here. I hope you enjoyed the first look at Feeder Pack 2. There is definitely going to be some fun uses for these. Who knows how much I'll actually use them, because you guys know me. I'm not the biggest feeder user in the community. I use it for a couple species, but not too many. I could see the gators potentially being the thing I'd use it for the most. Going over to Mississippi, pop a few gator feeders down, like combine that with my pig run or something like that. That could be quite fun. Of course, we'll definitely use this for tigers in the future, and stuff like that. So stay tuned for more content around this feeder pack as well as the rest of the update. If you guys haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel as well as leaving a comment down below and hitting that like button before you go. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!